confidence that you gain after speaking affirmations over yourself. The more you hear it, the more you believe that it's true.
And welcome to Premier Fitness. I'm Gene Williams, your yoga instructor, and I'm here to tell you about the benefits of yoga.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining our show. Welcome to Where is the Love? I am your host. I am Stephanie Hawkenhall. And joining me is my co host, my son, Gene Williams. Come on out, son.
Hey, everybody. How you doing today?
Hey, son. What's going on?
It's a lot going on in the world right now.
It is a lot going on in this world, and we're going to tackle as much of it as we can with this bullying, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So thank you again for joining our show. Where we talk about bullying versus love. We talk about the different types of bullying. We talk about bullying in the news. We talk about bullying so that we can help you understand what bullying is, which is controlling, negative, coercive behavior. We'll get into that a little bit more in a little bit. Um, we also we recap every show. We recap from the last show, tell you a little bit about the last show, and then to see the whole show, you got to go back to the last show and check it out, because we have conversations and discussions that are very helpful. We provide the tools for you to help you understand more about bullying. So, you want to add anything?
Nope, you're on point.
All right. So last week we talked about cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is a big issue. Why is it a big issue? It is a big issue because so many people spend time on social media platforms of all kinds. There's bullying everywhere. Bullying has no certain place where it happens. It has no certain age range that it happens in. It happens in all age ranges.
Right.
So, because cyberbullying is a big issue, and like I said, a lot of people spend a lot of time on social media platforms. So, one of the things we talked about is cyberbullying is negative comments on social media about a person. It can be direct or indirect. Go ahead.
Heckling.
Yes. So we gave you some tips. We talked about it. We gave you some tips on what to do. You don't have to engage in cyberbullying. You can make a choice. You can do certain things to block out cyberbullying on your social media platform.
Right.
You want to add anything?
Yeah, I was also going to say limiting your amount of time on social media would help a lot. I think a lot of people, because of the advent of COVID and how people were at home all the time and just on their computers doing a lot of Zoom meetings, and they spend a lot of time on social media. So we have to understand that cyberbullying was taken up to a hyperdrive because of the fact that we're on computers all day long. Do spend time off the computer and do, I hate to have to say it like this, but real things.
Right.
And be in nature, interact with people when you can. Just do different things that'll get you away from that screen. And also, even when you're on the screen, just don't take things personally. Each person is going through their own thing. Someone says something negative to you. You have the choice and the power to choose to engage or to not. So do whatever is going to be best for you ultimately. The back and forth, egoic, banter, and just unnecessary arguing over unnecessary stuff that really doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. You're wasting time and energy and possibly taking time off your life, because stress is a killer.
Yes. And you don't want to allow those things to take over. your mind. So you can hide comments. You can. There's all kind of things you can do. You can hide comments. You can block people. Um,
limit their ability to see your posts and or comment.
yes. So there's so many other things that you can do. We don't want to give away the whole show though from last week. Yeah. Y'all have to go back and listen to last week's show. We gave you tips on how to keep cyberbullying, people from cyberbullying on your platform. You have a choice as to what happens on your platform.
Right.
So, and who can have access to you on your platform. Everybody don't need access to you. You heard
Right.
me?
Right. You hear me?
Right.
Mm.
So, okay, so that's our recap. You want to add anything else?
I think we hit everything.
All right. So again, go back to episode 10 to hear about cyberbullying. So today we are talking about something that's humongous. Bullying. There's so many different types of bullying. So today we are tackling narcissistic bullying. Narcissistic bullying is a big thing. It's a
Oh yeah.
huge thing. We want to talk about it. We have to address it. We can't act like things are not happening. We can't act like things are not existing. We are tackling them in the bud. Yes, Beverly, stress is a killer.
Oh yeah.
Facts.
Big facts.
Go ahead, Gene.
And we also have to take into account the fact that narcissistic um, narcissism in itself is a personality disorder. Like
Yes.
people are literally, they are diagnosed with narcissism, um, personality disorder, and it really takes the bullying situation to another level. I mean, there is, and I mean, we'll get into more of this, but there's a heartlessness that goes into being a bully. Period. But
Yes.
worse when they are narcissists. But
Right.
I'm not. You know what? I was gonna give some details. I'm gonna wait on that. But still, just know that.
We
just
coming
know
at y'all. We
that.
coming at y'all. So we are going to get back to the narcissistic personality disorder. We
Disorder.
are going to get to that. So let's start out. Narcissists could be some of the most manipulating, controlling, entitled, toxic people in the world.
Big facts.
Man, you want to add anything, Gene?
All I can say is big facts.
Yes, facts. All right, so narcissist bullies, are narcissist bullies? The simple answer is yes. Narcissists are some of the worst bullies you will ever meet. So let's dive deeper into this. Are narcissist bullies? Um,
You mind if I read it?
Go ahead. So what is a narcissist? Gene's gonna tell you what a narcissist is.
All right. So according to the Mayo Clinic, a narcissist is someone who was diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder or NPD. You'll see it like that a lot. NPD is a mental condition where the individual has an inflated sense of their own importance, an exorbitant need for attention and admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. Like you see that contrast there. They want all the attention, all the love, but they don't want to. They don't have the capacity to return it. Um, a narcissistic personality disorder causes problems in many areas of life, such as romantic relationships, social gatherings, the workplace, school, and any other type of relationship that you could have, possibly.
Did y'all hear that? A person with a narcissist personality disorder has mental issues.
Right.
Did y'all hear that?
Right.
That is a
Emotion,
mental condition. Go ahead, Gene.
mental and emotional issue.
Yes. So uh ask me the next question. We're gonna go back and forth. We're gonna ask each other questions. We're gonna feed off of each other. We're gonna answer each other's questions. So What's the next question?
Alrighty. So again, we're talking about bullying. So what is a bully?
So a bully is a person who consistently engages in the act of bullying. So then, what is bullying? Bullying is any unwanted, aggressive, repeated, or potentially repeatable behavior that involves an imbalance of power. Bullying is the use of force, coercion, hurtful teasing, or threat to abuse, aggressively dominate, intimidate. The behavior is often repeated and habitual. Bullying is a global problem. Y'all hear me? It is a global problem that affects children and adults alike in all walks of life and in all age ranges.
I also want to
So
add. I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt.
go ahead.
Well, I do want to also add into this. Bullies and narcissists kind of do the same thing as it pertains to isolation. They will isolate you away from other people that you love and that love you. To um, yeah, they'll isolate you to keep you away from people that you love, and then badmouth you to further isolate you. And then
Yes.
also, there's a term in psychology called triangulation, where they create situations to get a certain reaction out of you, and then
Right.
when you act the way that they created, then you're the bad guy.
Right.
So yeah,
So the thing about isolation, I want to add some to that isolation. People that isolate you, that want, I don't want you around none of your family. I don't want you talking to none of your
your friends,
friends. You can't have nothing. No friends, no family, no nothing.
just me,
But them. Say that again.
just me.
Yeah. What kind of life is that? That's a crazy person. That is a person with mental problems. Ah, it just makes me want to scream. I just cannot. Whoa.
Yep.
People, get yourself together. It is not, you are not the only person in this person's life. You just
You're
maybe came in their life when they was 25 or 30, for example, and you act like you now this I'm the only person you know. So all the people they've known all these years, now you the only person I know, and I can only be around you. Come on now, get yourself together. This is a type of bullying that has me hype. I guess y'all see that. But this is a crazy person.
yeah.
So and Beverly said, why do they play the victim?
Yeah.
Gene, go ahead.
So
Why
yeah,
do they play the victim?
right. So and that's part of the isolation and the triangulation, and there's also in there what's called gaslighting. So
Yes,
they play the victim because again, if they were to take if they were to own blame for their actions, then they would in their eyes be seen in a negative light. And you remember, they want admiration and attention in a positive sense. So
yep,
if they are shown with flaws, then they automatically feel, oh, now the true inferiority that they feel comes comes to the forefront. So they play the victim because now I know I messed up,
right.
and they're gonna point it out to me. Well, why are you being so mean to me? I just made a mistake, but you just busted me upside the head with a cast iron skillet though. I don't understand. Like, so I'm mad. I'm bad because I just went off on you for hitting me upside the head with a heavy cast iron skillet, and now I'm the bad guy. But this
Right.
dent in my head says a little different.
That's the way narcissistic bullies are. They can control you and treat you mean and all that. But when you come back, you get fed up and you come back, then you the crazy person. What's wrong with you? You didn't lost your mind. But hold on, wait a minute. You lost your mind a long time ago. And now that I'm saying I ain't taking this no more, I'm crazy.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yep. And there's also gaslighting. Gaslighting is virtually the same thing, where there's a situation that transpires, and then they tell you, no, it wasn't that, it was this.
Right.
And like, and create a whole story around it to make you think, well, man, did it happen that way? Make you
Right.
start questioning your own self. Like, did
Yep.
it happen like that?
Right.
I know I was there and I remember, but now I'm
Right.
questioning my own self, my own memories.
Right.
That and what that creates is a mental health issue in the true victim.
Right. Right. Because it has you questioning your own sanity. Am I crazy? Hold, wait a minute. Am I crazy or is it them? I mean, I know they was crazy, but now I don't know. I'm confused.
Right. Yep.
So, man, like I
Yep.
said, this is a subject that has me hyped. This is one bully that, ooh wee, y'all, ooh wee. All right, so on to our next question. So, are narcissists bullies?
Uh, let me answer that.
Yes.
All narcissists are bullies, but not all bullies are narcissists. I did want to add in there, I think I maybe added this later on down the line, but bullies, for the most part, are just hurt people who are trying to cause someone else to feel the same pain that they're feeling. That
Right.
or worse.
Yeah.
That, pretty much encapsulates the mindset of a bully, but a narcissist takes it way further.
Yeah.
So all narcissists fit the profile of classic bullies. They repeatedly conspire, attack. What was that? Oh crap! My light went out. Sorry. They repeatedly conspire, attack, and prey on the vulnerable, usually the people closest to them, which is
Yes.
different. Because usually bullies are afraid of the people close to them, so they go outside of the house to bully people who are vulnerable that they're not close to.
Right.
Narcissists, however, keep the craziness close to home.
Right.
Bullies, on the other hand, do not have the sense of entitlement, the superiority complex, and the obsession with perfection narcissists have. Narcissists could be some of the most manipulated, controlling, entitled, toxic people in the world, and also quite childish.
Also, what?
Quite childish.
Yes.
Have a child's mentality. There's a difference between childlike and childish.
Right.
Childlike is that you're always young, but childish is that you are not emotionally and mentally mature enough to make mature, well thought out, well planned out decisions. That's
Yeah.
childish, and they are very childish.
Yeah. Shout out to Dr. Ruby Lynette and shout out to Beverly Champion. Thank y'all for joining our show. We appreciate y'all being a part of our show. This is a subject that we are very passionate about, bullying. Bullying versus love is what we talk about. Where is the love? Where is the love in narcissistic bullying? Where is the love in bullying, period? So, again, thanks for joining our show. Thanks for being a part of our show. So, what's the next question?
All right, so can you give me some examples of how bullies and narcissists are the same?
So, bullies and narcissists, although some bullies are not narcissists, they do have some major similarities. The obvious similarities are that they both harass, intimidate, exclude, sabotage, and humiliate you consistently. The most important similarities that they have are that they both lack empathy, they both feel the need to control others. And so, they both fear the same thing. So I want to add some more to um, them feeling the need to control others. The bully tries to control the victim's behavior or emotions. Narcissists try to control the victim by making them believe that they are superior and should be treated as such. Narcissist superiority complex and sense of entitlement justifies why they should be in control. And that's in their eyes. So then, to add more to, they both fear the narcissist and the bully. The similarities, them both fearing the same things. The narcissist and the bully both fear being exposed. Who wants to be exposed when you doing dirt? Don't nobody want to be exposed. Go ahead, add
So
what you
if
want to
you
add.
don't want to be exposed, then how about you just don't do dirt?
Right. Hello.
Common sense.
It's that simple. It's that simple. So then, narcissists are cowards who are subconsciously terrified of themselves and anyone who might see them for who they really are. The main focus is to protect themselves from situations that would trigger their subconscious sense of inferiority. You want to add anything?
Yeah, absolutely. Also, something that's very prevalent in the narcissists that I've dealt with is the inferiority complex shows up a lot as jealousy. Um,
Yes.
a lot of narcissists don't have a true direction in their lives.
Yeah.
Um, because they're truly unaware of who they are on a deeper level, then they kind of float around in life. So it makes them uncomfortable to be around people who are focused and know who they are, who are comfortable in their own skin, those who are authentic, because narcissists are also very superficial people. I was going to say fake, but bigger word, superficial, very superficial. It's all about a show. You know, they want to put on a good show, but deep down, what does it say in the Bible? Um, the building, I'm paraphrasing, the building is beautiful on the outside, but on the inside it's on the
That's
inside
tough.
filthy rags. You know what I'm talking
Yes, that's talking
about.
about the Pharisees.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah, you're righteous on the outside, but inside is filthy rags.
There you go. There you go. So, also, I wanted to add to this about them being cowards and them that they them not them being terrified of who they people finding out who they really are. It makes me think of Keisha. For y'all that don't know, Keisha's my daughter. And so Keisha used to always say that, when you first meet people, you meet the representative, you're not meeting the real person.
Big
You
fact.
mean, yeah, you mean the representative of who that person is. They gonna show you who they really are. Just keep watching and keep hanging
Right.
around. You'll see. So I wanted to add that. You want to add anything else to that?
Yeah. So it's very true that people put on a front, and that's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. I mean, you should always come to a situation as your authentic self.
Yes.
Door. I love it, and Keisha says this as well. You can either take it or leave it. This is who I am. If you don't like it, there's the door. If you're down with it, let's rock together. But we won't, exit stage. But if you can rock with this, then we're gonna rock a certain way. Like I think that's where we go wrong in a lot of relationships. We don't come to the table in authentic.
Authentically.
We also do not set firm boundaries and stick to them. That's how
Right.
people like narcissists and bullies run over people who are otherwise very loving people.
Right. So if you come to the relationship, no matter who the relationship is with, it can be with a friend, a coworker. It doesn't have to be an intimate relationship. Come authentically. And when you come authentically, just like Jean said, hey, this is me, this is what it is, this is how I am. As long as you treating people kind and treating them the way you want to be treated, if that ain't how they treating you, create them boundaries immediately. Yes. And when he said, this is how I am, this is what it is, if this ain't what you want, okay, peace. But people come to the relationship a lot of times, and it doesn't matter. Like I said, it doesn't have to be an intimate relationship. You come in a relationship all fake and false, and making people think that you are one way when you're really another way, and like I said, they gonna find out eventually, because you can only be that person, that fake person, for so long, and then you gonna get tired of being that person, and you like, hey, I don't know, I got to be me, so this is who I really am. So then the representative is gone, and then here's the real person.
Right. Yep.
So you want to add anything?
Yeah, there was Shakespeare, I believe, said something along the lines of, "There's only so long that you wear the mask before it falls
Yes.
off." You know.
Yep. Thank you, Pamela Foster, for joining our show. Me and my son doing the doggone thing. We bringing this bullying, this narcissistic bullying to the surface. We are talking about it and not acting like it doesn't exist. It does exist, and it comes with. They usually come with a narcissistic bullying uh, personality. So now we want to talk about. We just talked about how narcissists and bullies are the same. So now, how are they different, Gene? Let's talk about that.
All right. So it is clear that even though narcissism and bullying are different, they have a lot more in common. They both also have a profound impact on friends, family, and coworkers. But there are three qualities that truly separate them one from the other. Excuse me. Some bullies don't have a sense of entitlement. A bully's motive, most of the time, is to control you. Uh, but they don't always feel as if they're entitled to control you. They're trying to hide their inability to control their own lives by controlling you. And again, to repeat, what I said earlier, um, the bully's mindset is more like, I'm going through pain, so I'm going to cause pain. The saying,
Yeah,
hurt people hurt people.
right.
So that's in essence where bullying comes from. Some bullies don't have a superiority complex. Yep. Most bullies have perceived inferior qualities that they are aware of and don't want other people to know. Uh,
Right.
so again, they put on that front that we just talked about, that mask. Their awareness of those qualities makes them feel inferior to others, even though they act opposite. In turn, they try to make others feel how they feel, which is deflection. And doing this gives them a sense of not being alone, which, I mean, wow. So because you feel inferior, in order for you to be okay, you got to again, hurt people hurt people. It's just
Yep.
hearing it, like, it's like, oh, what? Insane in the membrane.
Right. Exactly.
Uh, some bullies aren't perfectionists. For the most part, bullies don't care about everything being perfect, and some definitely don't care whether you think they're perfect or not. Uh, they just want to make your life miserable and control how you feel and make you miserable. They don't require any perfection. Lord, and when they're mixed together,
Yes.
it's ugly. It's
Real ugly.
Lord.
We hope y'all are getting something out of this show. Thank you, Pam. And you're right, Beverly. Misery does want company. Misery likes company, and the right company won't like that misery and go toward that misery. What else you got, Gene?
All right, so can you give us some signs of narcissists to look out for?
So narcissists are manipulative and can learn to cover up their nature when someone is first getting to know them. We just talked about that. Though over time they will often reveal their true selves. We just talked about
Can't
that.
help it.
Should you feel like someone is emotionally abusing you or is unable to take any criticism, you might be dealing with a narcissist. So, Jean, have you ever felt, have you ever dealt with the, did you have something to add?
No, I passed out. I passed out for a second. Joking.
Okay, then.
No, when you said that they can't take criticism, that's
Okay.
oh,
I missed it.
Lord,
Well, I'm glad you revived.
man.
So, what you want to add to that?
Yeah,
What you want to?
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I'm not one of those types of narcissists, very extensively. Um, Everything with this person was an argument. If it wasn't the way that they wanted it, um, and then they'll again take, what was said and twist it to be something else, and then be stuck on that as if it's fact. And I mean, that in itself is exhausting. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to talk to you about something. I'm just trying to have a mature conversation with you about a specific situation, and you want to argue because I said something that made you feel a certain way, as opposed to asking clarifying questions. You just assume, and then from there it makes a bigger argument, which only causes more drama. So
Right.
yeah, I've absolutely dealt with narcissists who cannot deal with any criticism at all, but can give it unrelentingly.
Yeah. And that makes it tough for a relationship, but it goes back to what you said earlier about being childish and childlike,
Right.
thinking in that way. So, and it's sad that, people think, narcissists think that, I can treat you any kind of way and do you any kind of way, but don't bring that back to me. I can't take it. But that's how they do.
Right.
That's what narcissists do. You want to add anything else to that?
No, I don't want to talk about it no more.
I understand. Beverly said you so crazy. Y'all, we are having this conversation and we can only dig into it so much without talking about our actual relationship. So, all we can do is give you a little bit, I mean, we telling you, giving you the information, but as far as our past relationships, certain things, are going on. And so, we can't just dig in like we really want to. So we are scratching the surface. But hoping that this information is helping you because that's what we do this show for. We want to help you. Um, two questions. Pamela said, "Should you date someone like this? Should you date a narcissist?" Pam, I hope you are looking at his face, and
You
him
should
shaking his
run
head. What did you say?
fast. You should run and run fast. Extremely
So
fast.
So there's your answer. No, don't date nobody like that because this is the beginning of the worst thing that can happen. One of the worst things that can happen to you. No, you don't want to date somebody that don't want you around other people and don't want you talking to your family and want to isolate you. You don't want that. That ain't good for you. You want to add something, Jean?
Yes, absolutely. Pay attention to red flags. Man, you and I both have dealt with this before. We walk around with rose-colored glasses on as it pertains to dealing with people. You see something, in the back of your head, your intuition is yelling at you, "Run! Run!" You're you're like, well, maybe if I love them enough, or if I do this or do that or do this. No. the fact of the matter, and this is something I had to tell myself a lot, you cannot change one single solitary soul in this world. It has to absolutely be their choice to make changes, and you do not have to be there while they make those changes.
Hello.
You keep yourself in a positive place, um, and you gotta guard your energy. Guard your energy. You can't let everybody into your space. Uh,
Yep.
and the cliche is, when a person showed you who they are, believe them the first time. Believe them.
Believe them. So y'all, our producer, he's shaking his head too. And he said he wanted me to tell y'all that he's been there as well. And so these narcissistic relationships, I mean, relationships are hard enough as it is, but a narcissist and bullies, those are the worst kind of relationships. And nobody's perfect, but we all got to try to treat people. I have to say that so many times. You
Like,
got to treat people the way you want to be treated. Don't, excuse me, don't get into relationships that are trying to control you and manipulate you and coerce you. That's bullying. That's bullying and narcissism. So I missed some comments here. Barb said, can narcissism be on a spectrum, level, or degree? What you think, Gene?
oh yeah, I mean, there's definitely levels to it. Some people who are just narcissistic from the standpoint of just how they deal with individuals, and all the way up to the standpoint of narcissists prime you for physical abuse. I mean, there's a vast majority of levels to it. So that's why when you see on any level that the person is a narcissist, you gotta run. You gotta run. You have to create that space.
Right. Go the other direction. As I can't remember, Barb and Pam might remember, and maybe even Beverly too might remember. Who was that said that exit stage right? It was was it Yogi Bear?
They left. Man, listen, I don't know.
Do y'all remember?
Maybe one ain't no telling.
Yeah. So Barb, that answered, he just answered your question. And then Pam said, okay, brother, I hear you. When it comes to the relationship, getting into a relationship with with a narcissist, she said, I hear you. And Beverly said, run, Forrest, run.
You better run for it, run for it, run.
Right. um, so Barb, thanks for joining the show. We appreciate you being a part of the show. We appreciate your input. Um, we appreciate all of y'all joining the show. So, Jean, did you? So the next question is: have you ever dealt with a full-blown narcissist in your life? You answered that, but so I'll just add to it. They flatter you, court you, are nice. Hold on. What happened?
I said blink twice for yes.
Okay, so again, they flatter you, court you, are nice and accommodating while it serves their
Their
purpose.
purpose.
Once you realize that it isn't a mutual relationship, you are stuck.
Right.
Okay,
Not
so the narcissist invests just enough time. Um, then they invest just enough time, energy, and money to keep you amused. Woo! They dangle carrots on sticks in front of your nose and persuade you to stay another day. Before you know it, you done been there a year, 10 years, 15 years. But all the while, you know that they are taking advantage of you. They're betraying your they are betraying you behind your back and abusing your goodwill, your loyalty and dedication. You want to add something, Jean?
Lord. Yeah, like she said, they will tell you what you want to hear, just to, like she said, to keep you there, keep you invested, and then go right back to the same habits. Like they'll
Yep.
stay for a certain amount of time, just to keep you there. Oh, I'll do this. I'll make this change, or I'll make that change. They'll do it for 2, 3 times, 4 times tops. You know, maybe a month or so. For instance, I'll bring up an example, a personal one. Uh, the narcissist that I dealt with, this person, we were going through a possible dissolution of our relationship at the time. Um, I was at a point where I was done, and I started to show it. So this person, you know, after I showed that consistently, the person called me up and was like, you know, can we start over as friends? Um, you know, I'll you know, in my first rule was you gotta get into counseling and be consistent. So that person got into counseling, was in counseling for about 6 weeks, and then it was over. And the person even lied to me and said that they continued. And the only way I could tell is the way the relationship was spiraling out of control again. And I'm like, now when you were in counseling, I knew it, things were getting better incrementally. But as soon as the 6 weeks was over, that old attitude started to come back. And I'm just like, this person's not in counseling anymore. So I asked questions and no, I'm still in counseling. And this is why I get them. This is why I get them. What's your therapist's name again? What's their number again? All I needed to know is the name. All I needed to know is the name. I get the name, I'm finding everything. You ain't got to tell me more. I just want to see if you gonna give it to me. But yeah, so that's what transpired. Like they'll reel you back in. They'll dangle that carrot over your head. As soon as you get close to getting it, they'll snatch it back from you.
Yep.
I got you back now. Come on now. Come on.
So one of the things that I experienced is hearing, being told, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. I love you, and hearing that over and over, okay, I'm going to give them another chance. They're going to do better, give them another chance. And then here we are going through the same thing over and over again because you didn't really want to change. You just said that to draw me back in again, get me where you want me again. And so we keep repeating the same doggone cycle because you're not really trying to do nothing different. You
Right.
just talking. So your words and what you saying and what you doing ain't lining up. So then guess what? At that point, we have a choice. Do I keep dealing with this or do I get away
Not
from this? And just like you were saying a while ago, hey, when you get out, stay out. Don't go back to that same person. Don't go back to that same thing, even if it is in a different person. So I saw a comment. Pamela said, I seem to attract these kinds of men because of my energy. So what do you have to say about that, Gene?
I kind of wish we could invite her on. It's good though that she recognizes that she attracts the same type of person. So just like a magnet, a magnet attracts certain things. It's the energy that's in the magnet that attracts those things outside into itself. So in that case, it would be a wise thing for you to step back, um, even get a counselor um, to help you assess what about you continues to attract these people that are narcissistic. You're probably so we got to talk about this as well. So we have narcissists, and then the polar opposite are the empaths. Empaths are very sweet people. They're very intuitive. They're very soft-hearted, very compassionate, empathetic, and unfortunately, narcissists are great at using that against you. So, uh, again, date for a while, not exclusively. Set firm boundaries. Pay attention to your red flags because they're gonna show them. They're gonna show them. As soon as they show a red flag, you ghost them. So, so can we talk about
You
it? Nothing to talk about. Have a great life. It sounds harsh, but that's the deal. Empaths are two. Because I'm one too, and you are as well, Ma. You're an empath as well. We're both have been too soft-hearted. You have to have a balance. You have to have that soft side of you that's willing to accept people, love people for who they are, truly love people unconditionally, treat them as you want to be treated. However, when people show you that they cannot treat you like you want to be treated, you have to be hard and you have to put
right,
that wall down on them.
right,
And no, you can't let them circumnavigate it. You have to be very firm about it. Listen, you did this, I'm done. You got to set the ground rules off top. Listen, this is what it is. You come into this relationship, here's what I deal with, here's what I won't deal with. If you come in
right,
with that over there that I won't deal with, you can go over there with that. I see you from a distance, wish you love, and don't. I think one of the things about empaths is that once we do that, we feel like we're being mean.
yeah,
That's not mean. It's
yeah,
not. It's protecting your own self. You
yeah,
have to guard your own heart.
yep,
The Bible says guard your tongue. You got to guard your heart too.
right,
Your heart is your center. This is the center of where you come from. This is everything. This is your love center. If you allow people to come into your love center and taint it, then your heart ends up black. You don't want that.
right. And I want to add to when Jean said step back, um, so I've learned to, because I didn't know how to step back. I didn't know how to, I thought I had to take everything that was given to me. You don't have to take everything that's given to you. You have to learn how to, and Jean was the same way. We had to learn how to set boundaries. Of course, when we set boundaries with the person that was bullying us, then we was the crazy person. But so what? We have to accept that crazy. Whatever you say about me, I know who I am. I ain't worried about what you saying. So you have to get to know yourself. You have to learn yourself. I've done that. I've stepped back. I've learned more about myself. I've learned who I am. Now I know what I will and will not accept.
Right.
And that's it. That's all. And then something else you said. Oh, when you go into relationships, you gotta have you gotta create what is called shoot, deal breakers. So
Right.
you gotta have deal breakers when going into relationships. This is what I won't take. Okay, I'll accept this. Okay, I'll accept that. Okay, I won't accept that. And just for example, so if you're not a drinker or a smoker, why go into a relationship with a drinker or a smoker? That's just an example. So that would be, for me, those would be deal breakers. I don't do either one of those things. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I have, but I don't want it. I ain't gonna take it. It's a deal breaker for me. Exit stage left. Bye bye and peace. I'm cool where I'm at. You gone over there somewhere else. So there's a couple. You want to add something else? There's some more questions here.
No, you got it all. Yep.
All right. So Barb said, I once was told by a life coach that we all have some level of narcissistic tendencies. What is your knowledge about this?
It would all kind of depend on how they were using the term narcissism. Um, I mean, because some people would say a person who loves themselves, and like shows himself a lot of love as a narcissist. And that's not where we're coming. Like, there's a difference between narcissism in the sense that I love me, I'm um, always looking in the mirror or trying to wear the nicest clothes or whatever. But the narcissism that we're talking about is the kind that breaks people down. So,
Yeah.
right. So a narcissist, I don't think that everybody has the tendency to want to tear somebody else down. I think that that's a learned behavior.
So
I mean, go ahead.
some people are too scared, like us. We was too scared to be tearing people down and breaking people down. That's just not our nature. And
Right.
so for everybody to have narcissistic tendencies, I don't know about that either,
Right.
because we're not all, you know, wanting to just control and to be mean and to, I mean, when, I agree. I have to agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
You want to add anything else?
Yeah. So, like I said, we have to differentiate between, narcissism as in they're in love with themselves, which is, and that's another thing. We got to understand that this society itself tells us not to love ourselves. You're always supposed to compare yourself to somebody else. That's part of the problem. So when a person loves themselves and is happy in their own skin, the way that they are, it can be perceived as narcissism. However, narcissistic personality disorder is a constant part of you that feels like it has to tear other people down for its benefit. And that to me is the major difference. I could be narcissistic. I like to look at myself. I work hard at what I do. So I'm allowed to look at myself and be like, hey, I look good. I love me.
the
Hey,
term is
that's
called
all right.
the term is called fleas.
Right.
Uh, it's having been around a narc for years, and you pick up some characteristics.
Right. So it's like basically you have a bleed over from, you've been around, dealt with narcissists so much that a part of their personality bleeds. And you got to understand that not only with a narcissist, but anyone you're in a relationship with, their personality bleeds over onto you. You have to know that off top. You're going to take um, characteristic traits from anybody that you're around long enough. So that's why it's very, again, going back to what we're talking about, it's very important to watch who you allow into your circle because you're going to emulate them in one way or the other long term. So you have to be very cognizant and very protective of your space.
Right. That's good. Um, so vast difference, a comment here, vast difference between self-confidence and narcissists. Um, there is a vast difference.
Yeah.
You want to add anything to that, Gene? There's
Yeah, yeah.
another. Go
I,
ahead.
I was gonna say we just touched on that. We touched on that.
Okay.
But there's nothing wrong.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with self love. You gotta love yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
if you don't, then again, you leave the door wide open for a narcissist to come in and tear you down.
Right. And if you don't love yourself, you can't love nobody else. You have to love others the way that you have learned to love yourself.
Say that. Say that.
All right. So another comment. Are you leading into the self-worth link? Oh, that's something else. Okay. So, all right. Another comment. From Pam, men tend to learn from their mother as a child. Everybody should be learning from their mother, from their parents. In fact, parents are the first teachers. I don't know if anybody thought about that or not, but
Yeah.
parents are the first teachers because kids are around them all the time until they go to daycare, if they go to daycare or school. But parents are the first teachers. We're the first, like I said, person, in the kid's life. You want to add something, Gene?
Actually, I was gonna ask a question. Is she saying that you learned the narcissistic behavior from your mother? I'm just asking.
So Pam, Jean was asking, are you saying that men learn the narcissistic behavior from their mother as a child? Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, we have to understand that men and women can be narcissistic. Um, some of it is taught. Uh, some of it is taught. Some of it is chemical as well. I mean, all of those play a factor. But yeah, what is it? Environment, nurture,
Yeah.
and then we have our own personal nature. All of those things play into the personality that we display. So in one way, she is very true. Yeah, she's very right that you do learn it from your mother, but your father too. You know, other family members. We learn a lot of things through trauma.
Right.
You get your butt beat for something certain amount of times. You're gonna have that snap. You're gonna always in the back of your head. But if you do that thing, you're gonna have that jolt. Oh, I remember I used to get. Oh, okay.
Yep.
So it's learned behavior as well as you know sometimes chemical makeup. And
Yeah.
things of that. So
And so I'm glad you touched on all three of those areas: learned behavior, chemical imbalance, and then a product being a product of your environment.
right.
So thank you for that. That's good. So Barb said, "Is narcissism formed from being abused?" And
Yeah.
I go ahead. No,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
go ahead.
Well, yeah. So I mean, so again, just going back to what I was saying about trauma. Yeah, absolutely. Um, it you know, yes, abuse. Mental, emotional, physical. Yeah, that does cause a person to become narcissistic. But again, we also have to think about the fact that some of us have this trait in us naturally. Again, be it a chemical thing, or again, we have genetics, or we see. Not even necessarily. Sometimes a person's got to say it. It's just you're around narcissistic people in your family all the time, and you just pick up their traits and think this is what it's supposed to be. So this is how
Right.
I So there are a lot of factors going to it, but yes, absolutely, abuse is a major contributor to uh, a narcissistic personality disorder. It's a tongue tie right now. My goodness.
Y'all, this has been a great show. We really thank you all for your input, for your questions. Um, like I said at the beginning of the show, Gene and I are very passionate about talking about bullying and educating people about bullying. It's not a subject. It's an epidemic. People act like it doesn't exist, and we're bringing it to the forefront. And we're also bringing to the forefront and teaching you and helping you to understand what real love is. Again, the name of our show is "Where Is the Love." Um, we still have put that back up, Mark, please. We have less than 2 minutes. Studies show that the majority of narcs are men, but the women who are narcissistic are the worst.
Oh yeah, yeah. And the reason why they're the worst is because they use now men generally, and they use the emotions as well, but women are excuse me, emotions are the woman's domain. So it's easier for a woman to flip emotions on you. Men do it as well because some of us are have some emotional intelligence. But yeah, like she said, the women who are narcissists are the worst just because they have the ability to flip emotions on you in a way that a man has no concept of.
Yeah,
It's like they out emotional intelligence you, if that's even a term. Like I'm
yeah.
not thinking emotionally. I don't even know what to do. I'm scared. Should I move this way? Should I go that way? I don't even know.
So I want to add real quick, there are emotional bullies too, and emotional bullies control you with their emotions by crying to keep you from talking, by uh, you know. So we'll get into that at another time, but I just wanted to add that there are emotional bullies as well, and that's what they do, control you with their emotions. Again, thank you so much for joining our show. We want to leave you with peace, love, and happiness. Take care. Until next time, see you later.